Hello. I always look away. That it's me. How's it going today? So I wanted I I was looking through my memories on my Facebook and came across a memory that you might read if you're a friend of mine. Which, if you're not a friend of mine, I don't know how you'd be seeing this. If you want to read it, go back and look at my shared memories for today. So, um, but it talks about. I talked about how this goes back to the Christianity of the holy gospel, or holy gospel is full of holes that we have to patch with works of faith. And but that's not the gospel. The gospel is God made us whole, WHOLE, and because we're holy, He set us apart and crowned us with honor and glory. And so we have everything that we need to be everything He needs us to be. But in church, growing up, we always hear about how you have to put on the whole armor of Christ, full armor of God, whatever. Feet, or I don't know what it is. I can't think of it. But belt of truth, breastplate of righteousness, shield of faith, helmet of salvation. There's all this stuff, and so we're told that we have to put all this stuff on. But and so we can fight the wiles of the devil, and there's some truth to that. And I'm not preaching, I'm not teaching, I'm not talking about what I think is wrong with the church. I'm talking about what I've heard and how I hear it different now, growing up reading scripture. And so we always learn about how it's our work to put on this spiritual armor so that nothing can harm us. But then we read verses like 2 Peter 1:3 that says that we've been given everything pertaining to life and godliness. And so I don't get it, because how are we told one thing when the Bible tells us something else? And so I just want to simply tell you that you have everything that you need to defeat the devil. There is no entity walking around with a pitchfork and horns who is throwing darts at you that you have to block with the shield of faith. That's not the way it is at all. I think that the spiritual armor is not so much protection from outside influence, but to keep all of that stuff inside. Because it's the battle is our spirit and our flesh. It's the Spirit of God, which is supernatural, the spirit or behavior of God, which completes the law of Moses, against our flesh, which wants to do a bunch of bad stuff, get drunk, have orgies, gluttony, 7 deadly sins. It's just not a good thing. And so we have this spiritual armor on top of us, that keeps us from doing that. And so it keeps God inside of us. Anyways, I don't know where I'm going with that. And we can take it off by being fleshly, by living by our flesh. It says in Romans 6:12 or 5:13 something, that you're a servant to whom you sin, whether sin unto death or obedience unto righteousness. And so if you serve your flesh, then you're serving sin. And if you serve sin, you're going to die a horrible death. You'll be and suffering for eternity in the lake of fire. But as long as you're pursuing righteousness or trying to be obedient to the Spirit, then you're not going to have to worry about an eternity in the lake of fire, because you will be spending an eternity with God. So the reason why we can't go, the reason why I believe hell, where am I going with this? Hello. Go on. I had something I was going to say earlier. I forgot what it was. I need to send myself messages. Just God blessed you when He blessed Abraham, and so you don't have to worry about performing to be blessed. You have to, because you're blessed, you are going to perform. And it's not anything new that you have to do. It's everything that God's done before the foundation of the world. So it's nothing. It's just something you have to walk in. It's nothing you have to create. No. Saying stuff, doing stuff can create a way for you to get that stuff done, but it's not in your power, it's in God's power. So just follow His leading and know that your real enemy is you. And when I say that, I'm talking about your flesh. It says in Romans 8 something, I think, not to be carnally minded, but to be spiritually minded. And so spiritually minded people do not think about fighting the devil. Spiritually minded people think about walking in love, walking in grace, walking in mercy, walking in all the spiritual gifts. But we tend to focus in church focus on what we've done wrong and how we can do better. We need to focus on what we've done better and how we can get better. And the things that we do that are not the things that are of the Spirit are nothing to be concerned. I mean, yes, be concerned about them, but it's nothing to God. Jesus already paid the punishment for any sin that you can commit. Nobody's not going to heaven for a sin problem. It's going to be a belief issue, and it's a choice. It's not a punishment. Anyways, I think I'm going to be done rambling today. Just know that you're equipped with everything that you need to live a successful life, and that's because of the obedience of Abraham, who... No, I thought what I was going to say earlier. So, Abraham believed he was going to have a child. He believed that his wife, Sarah, was going to be pregnant, but even though she had a barren womb. He believed that, despite what his body told him. And so, he was about 100 years old when he... had his first child. That was a promise. And so, based on, I don't know what health was like back then, but based on things we see on TV and advertisements, you would think that he had an issue in the bedroom. And so that may be why he had to believe God. And so it wasn't, I don't know where I'm going with this, but hopefully you're laughing. So, how did I say it? It wasn't Viagra that produced a child. It was God's blessing that produced a child. So don't worry about outside influences. Just know that God's blessing is going to produce your child. So, yeah. Don't worry about what you can do. Worry about what God's blessing says you can do. Have a good day.